Hi everyone, welcome back to Earl Grey Books. I'm Ellie and today I'm here to show you my entire TBR. So, a couple of things to mention before we jump into it. I have separated this into a few different categories. We have fiction, non-fiction, romance, and currently reading. Wanted to split this into romance because this is my romance section back here, and this makes up a vast selection of my TBR, and I thought I would put them all together. Also want to mention that these parts have all been filmed on different days, so I am wearing something different for each of the parts. I just did that because I physically and mentally do not have the capacity to film this entire video in one go. There are a lot of books. I will put a number on the screen at some point to let you know how many I do have. And we're going to jump into it. We are going to start off with the fiction section. So you will see a different Ellie here now, and there will be timestamps slash video chapters, so you can jump ahead if you aren't interested in a section. But let's get into it. This is the fiction section, starting off with Rapture and Death, Holiday and Death, Ceremony and Death, Glory and Death. That was a bookmark. Vengeance in Death, Conspiracy in Death, and Immortal in Death, all by J.D. Robb. A Monstrous Regiment of Women by Laurie R. King. The Nursing Home Murder, Death in Ecstasy, and Enter a Murderer, all by Nagao Marsh. A Few Right-Thinking Gentlemen by Solari Gentile. The Labours of Hercules, Five Little Pigs, The Hollow, Taken at the Flood, After the Funeral, Mrs. McGinty's Dead, Cat Amongst the Pigeons, Dead Man's Folly, and The Adventure of the Christmas Pudding by Agatha Christie. Pyramids, Eric, Moving Pictures, and Guards by Terry Pratchett. The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake, A Useful Woman by Darcy Wilde, Ariadne by Jennifer Saint, Shadowghast and Gargantus by Thomas Taylor, None Shall Sleep by Ellie Marnie, Fantasy of Freedom by Kelly St. Clair, Girls with Razor Hearts and Girls with Rebel Souls by Suzanne Young, The Boy from the Mish by Gary Lonesborough, Permanent Record by Mary H.K. Choi, Dark Rise by C.S. Pekar, Shielded by Kaylin Flanders, Crocodile on the Sandbank by Elizabeth Peters, The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley, The F-Team by Rara Ajar, A Time of Exile by Catherine Kerr, We Set the Dark on Fire by Taylor K. Major, The Complete Stories of Leonora Carrington, Defy the Night by Bridget Camera, She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parker Chan, The Degenerates by J. Albert Mann, Pachinko by Min Jin Lee, What Kitty Did Next by Carrie Cablin, The Wolf Den by Elodie Harper, The Conductors by Nicole Glover, Lovely War by Julie Berry, The Five Wounds by Kristen Valdez Quaid, Doll A for Aunties by Jessie Sutano, The 100-Year House by Rebecca McKay, The Ninth Child by Sally Magnuson, Gunk Baby by Jamie Marina Lau, The Mothers by Britt Bennett, After Story by Larissa Benrett, Laura Dean Keeps Breaking Up With Me by Mariko Tamaki, My Lesbian Experience with Loneliness by Nagata Kabi, My Year Zero by Rachel Gold. Please Don't Hug Me by Kay Kerr. Grown by Tiffany D. Jackson. Honey and Issues Guide to Fake Dating by Abatia Shagadar. Sunburnt Veils by Sarah Hagadusti. The Last Time We Say Goodbye by Cynthia Hand. Black Enough by E.B. Zoboy. Peter Lyra's Rating Normal by Anna Waitley. Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas. The Surprising Power of a Good Dumpling by Wei Chim. Girls and Boys Cars by Felicity Castanga. Afterlove by Tanya Byrne. This Time Will Be Different by Misa Suguru. Our Year of Maybe by Rachel Lynn Solomon. Camp by Elsie Rosen. A Very Large Expansive Sea by Tahara Mafi. Getting quite out of breath now. The Gilded Ones by Namina Fauna. Descendant of the Crane by Joan He. With Award by Hannah Matthewson. These Hollow Vows by Lexi Ryan. A Dark and Hollow Star by Ashley Shuttleworth. Blood Air by Emily Wenzel. The Shadow Glass and the Heart Forger by Rin Chapeko. Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Booley. The Keeper of the Light by Kylie Lee Baker. Crystal Crowned by Elise Kova. The Interrogation of Ashala Wolf by Amberlyn Quay Molnar. Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler. The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni. Sisters of Sword and Song by Rebecca Ross. An Air Comes to Rise by Cece Penrada. Sense and Sensibility and Emma by Jane Austen. The Monk by Matthew Gregory Lewis. The Mysteries of Udolpho by Anne Radcliffe. Julius Caesar, Titus Andronicus, and Troilus and Cressida by William Shakespeare. The Infernal Desire Machines of Dr. Hoffman by Angela Carter. The Flight of the Falcon and Julius by Daphne du Maurier. The House of Mirth by Edith Wharton. For the Wolf by Hannah Witten. The Wolf of Aaron Yarrow by K.S. Veloso. Threadneedle by Carrie Thomas. A Declaration of the Rights of Magician by H.G. Parry. The Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart. The Mask Falling by Samantha Shannon. The Beautiful Ones by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. The Serena's Daughter by Ellen Elpston. The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. The Once and Future Witches by Alex E. Harrow. Jade City and Jade War by Fonda Lee. A Song of Flight. A Dance with Fate. And Daughter of the Forest, all by Juliette Marillier. The Willoughbys by Lois Lowry. The Story That Cannot Be Told by J. Casper Kramer. The History of Mischief by Rebecca Higgy. Frostheart by Jamie Littler. The Strange Worlds Travel Agency by L.D. Labzinski. Elsewhere Girls by Emily Gale and Nova Wheatman. The Detective's Guide to Ocean Travel by Nikki Greenberg. The Broken Raven by Joseph Elliott. The Edge of 13 by Nova Wheatman. Seven Wherewithal Way by Samantha Ellen Bound. Magnus Chase and the Ship of the Dead. Magnus Chase and the Hammer of Thor. Daughter of the Deep, and the entire Trials of Apollo series, all by Rick Riordan. Orion Lost by Alistair Chisholm. Jack and Bet by Sarah Butler. Loveless by Alice Oseman. Light Years by Cass Morgan. Into the Water by Paula Hawkins. An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. The Man I Think I Know by Mike Gale. The Weight of Our Sky by Hannah Alcoff. The Mad Woman's Ball by Victoria Mass. Dearest Josephine by Caroline George. The Romantic Poets. The Chosen and the Beautiful by Nevo. The Weight of Zero by Karen Fortunetti. In Deeper Waters by F.T. Lukens. Late to the Party by Kelly Quindelin. Furia by Yamil Said Mendez. Blade of Secrets by Trisha Levenseller. These Feathered Flames by Alexandra Overy. Within These Wicked Walls by Lauren Blackwood, Fortune Favours the Cruel by Kel Carpenter, When You Were Everything by Ashley Woodfolk, Happily Ever Afters by Elise Bryant, A Song of Rust and Ruin by Rosanna A. Brown, Parachutes by Kelly Yang, Made You Up by Francesca Zappia, The Grandest Bookshop in the World by Amelia Mellor, Lake's Edge by Lyndall Clipstone, When You Look Like Us by Pamela N. Harris, The Art of Saving the World by Corinne Duvis, Cool for the Summer by Dahlia Adler, She Drives Me Crazy by Kelly Quindelin, and finally, Sweet and Bitter Magic by Adrienne Tooley. So this is the romance section, starting off with some fantasy and contemporary romance. The Bridge Kingdom by Danielle L. Jensen, Touched by Fire by Cal Carpenter, A Strange Hymn, and the complete series of The Fallen World by Laura Thalassa, Unfit to Print, Unspected Isle by KJ Charles, Learn My Lesson, The Beast, Queen Takes Rose, The Sea Witch, and A Worthy Opponent, all by Katie Robert, Act Your Age, Eve Brown, and Take a Hint, Danny Brown by Talia Hibbert, Undercover Bromance by Lissa K. Adams, The Love Hypothesis by Ellie Hazelwood, The Winter King by C.L. Wilson, Circle of Desire by Kerry Arthur, A Hunger Like No Other by Cresley Cole, Rosemary and Rue by Shauna Maguire, Visions of Heat, Caressed by Ice, Mind to Possess, and Tangle of Need, all by Nalini Singh. Now on to the historical romance, The Highwayman, and How to Love a Duke in 10 Days by Kerrigan Byrne, Daring and the Duke by Sarah McLean, Flowers from the Storm, and Lessons in French by Laura Kinsale, The Madness of Lord Ian Mackenzie by Jennifer Ashley, The Governess Game and The Wallflower Wager by Tessa Dare, Because of Miss Bridgerton by Julia Quinn, Third Son's a Charm by Shayna Galen, The Storm and the Splendor by Jennifer Blake, Love Storm by Barbara Benedict, To Taste Temptation by Elizabeth Hoyt, Touchstone by Linda Hilton, Highland Destiny by Hannah Howe, Fires of Winter by Joanna Lindsay, Her Secret Fantasy, Her Only Desire, and Her Every Pleasure by Galen Foley, Unclaimed, and Proof of Seduction by Courtney Milan. And these two final files are both two authors. So we have All About Love, On a Wicked Dawn, All About Passion, The Edge of Desire, On a Wild Night, A Secret Love, Mastered by Love, Temptation and Surrender, and Viscount Breckenridge to the Rescue, all by Stephanie Lawrence. That also kind of sounded like a weird poem. And then To Wed a Wild Lord, A Lady Never Surrenders, 'Twas the Night After Christmas, What the Duke Desires, When the Rogue Returns, If the Viscount Falls, How the Scoundrel Seduces, Storm Swept and Windswept, all by Sabrina Jeffries. So this is the nonfiction section, starting with Cleopatra by Stacey Schiff, Female Husbands by Jen Manion, Sex, Lies and Question Time by Kay Ellis, The Little Book of Luca by Mike Vicken, My Inner Sky by Mari Andrew, Vivian Mayer by Pamela Banos, The Linda Notchlin Reader, The Five by Helly Rubenhold, How to Do Nothing by Jenny Odell, Make Your Art No Matter What by Beth Pickens, Classic Readings on Monster Theory, edited by Asa Simon Mittman and Marcus Henzel, The Mirror and the Palette by Jennifer Higgy, Zeus is a Dick by Susie Duncan, Hunger by Roxanne Gay, Our Bodies Their Battlefield by Christina Lamb, The Warmth of Other Suns by Isabel Wilkinson. The Daphne du Maurier Companion edited by Helen Taylor. Old Mistresses by Rosica Parker and Griselda Pollock. Staring by Rosemary Garland Thompson. Square Haunting by Francesca Wade. The Shape of Sound by Fiona Murphy. The Whole Picture by Alice Proctor. The Shelf Life of Zora Cross by Kathy Perkins. The Radium Girls by Kate Moore. Funny Weather by Olivia Lang. Guest House for Young Widows by Azadeh Moaveni. Disfigured by Amanda Leduc. Vida by Jacqueline Kent. Young Romantics by Daisy Hay. Carrington's Letters by Dora Carrington. The Pretty One by Kia Brown. Men, Women and Chainsaws by Carol J. Clover. Pompeii by Mary Beard. Killing the Black Body by Dorothy Roberts. The Amazons by Adrienne Mayer. And finally, Women in the Picture by Catherine McCormack. This last section here is my currently reading, and by that I mean these are books that I may possibly finish before the end of the year, or ones that I may even finish before this video goes up. So I'm putting them all here so that it's a lot easier for me to like cut out and whatnot if I do end up finishing them before the video goes live. So there's a lot of them here. I will not read all of these, but yes. Anyway, let's get started. Iron Widow by Ziran J. Zhao. Death by Laura Thalassa. The Ones We're Meant to Find by Joan He. Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Melinda Lau. Legend Born by Tracy Dion. Fantasy of Fire by Kelly St. Clair. Portrait of a Scotsman by Evie Dunmore. The Gaps by Leanne Hall. Devotion by Hannah Kent. Midnight in Everwood by M.A. Kuznia. Chain of Iron by Cassandra Clare. Evil Under the Sun by Agatha Christie. Talk Art by Russell Tovey and Robert Diamond. How to Woo a Reluctant Lady by Sabrina Jeffries. Six Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. And finally, Hollowpox by Jessica Townsend. So that is it. That is my entire TBR as it stands towards the end of 2021. My goal is to do this video again about this time next year. And hopefully some of these will no longer be on here. And hopefully it's a much smaller number, which I'm going to put the number here. Yes, it is not ideal, but we will talk about that more in my reading goals for 2022. For now, thank you all so much for watching. Would love to hear if you've read any of these or if you would like to buddy read any of them in 2022. Please let me know. I would be so excited to do that. Any help I can get through these would be very much appreciated. But for now, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye!